All right, so good night. Today Trinidad played the first of an away and home against Cuba. We played in Santiago, Cuba, and we came away with a positive result. We won that game 2-1. My thoughts, reaction, we did well. Obviously, coming away with a win in any scenario is fantastic. We had a lot of positives in that we had Tyree Spicer playing beautifully down the wing. He kind of held his own. At some points, I guess early in the game, he was a little bit timid because it's on a big stage first time. But coming into his own, he did it. Isaiah Lee scored, and I know I spoke about Isaiah Lee not doing well in the last two games against Jamaica, and I was jokingly saying that he kind of owes us a good game now. So he did well enough and he scored to equalize. Why I say equalize is because, let me get back to that point. We started the game slow. It was cagey. It was a little bit scrappy, and in the 5th minute, Cuba actually scored first. Now, for the people who know the football or understand the football, most of us wouldn't have been worried because Cuba is an open team and they score, but they also leave a lot of room at the back for us to exploit also. So, I mean, it was all disappointing that we gave up a goal first, but it was good that we came back and we scored, and the game was kind of flowing. Stephen Yates scored a goal also. He said in an interview he knew that because we lacking some of our upfront people, that he was going to try and pick up the role and be a little more aggressive in front. So I'm really glad that he got a goal also. Liked that Johnny Fortune came on and he got an opportunity. I like that Brent Sam came on and we kind of changed the play to put it direct to him, so we played to the strength that we had on the field. Now Brent Sam had to come on because Isaiah Lee seemed to have suffered a concussion, so really praying for all the best for Isaiah Lee, and that is not that serious. It's something we had to definitely look out for. The coach did say that we would have to manage this game and that there will be some new things that we see and that we didn't see before. I have come to the point where I think this coach is a really good tactician. He keeps us all guessing because we had some players who did pretty well against Cuba in the last game, and when we saw the starting lineup, we were like, those players not playing. And even the captain, who's our regular captain, he wasn't on the field. So I don't know if something happened to him before or if this was just a changing up of the tactics and keeping Cuba on their toes. Now Cuba brought in some new players from their last game, and we were, as coach said, trying to manage the game and come away with something. Again, as I say, we came away with a 2-1 result, which augurs well for us. And I'm highly confident that we are going to win the second game Tuesday and we would get into the Gold Cup. So I'm really, really happy about that and seeing the work that the team did. So that is most of the positives. Oh, another positive, Daniel Phillip. That man is a beast. He is strong, he is solid, and most of the time, anytime the ball was near to him, he had two players fighting him for the ball. They had to keep fouling him, they had to keep on his back at some points, literally, because he is so strong. My peeve in the game, now I'll go into my peeve. The commentator is a Trinidadian commentator. Why the hell do you always have to say Andre Raymond? Do you not know that Raymond is Raymond? every single time, because Andre Raymond came on eventually, and he replaced Terry Spicer on that side. And every time he touched the ball, all I'm hearing is that Raymond is doing this and Raymond is doing that. That was kind of ticking me off till I actually kind of lowered the volume because I really didn't want to hear him speak. That doesn't take away from the football itself. That was just my peeve, and I really hope, come on, get it right, guys. He's not the only Raymond in Trinidad and Tobago, so come on, that'll be better than that. In terms of positives, again, I want to make sure I cover all the positives. I did see that we had some good structure going forward. We were trying to play the ball through the middle, and as I say, when Brent Sam came on, we were putting it a little bit long, so we showed that we could change our strategy. On paper, we started with a 4-4-2, which kind of quickly turned into a 3-5-2. So we put a little more emphasis on the midfield and tried to pressure them. It worked to an extent. It really didn't work like how the last game was when Natty and Real Gillan they played, but it was good enough for us to get the victory. Coming to what I would call opportunities, I'd like to say anything else is opportunities. Why are we playing so deep and giving them so much room? Even though we try to cover the midfield, at some points, obviously, we wouldn't have the ball. They would have the ball. And instead of pressing, we prefer to fall back and let them come a little bit. Till some points, we actually had like 6 players in the box. And they were at the top of the box, and then we looking to try and play them off and make sure we had 2 guys behind those attacking the ball. So this would be our defenders, our defensive mid, kind of talking about those players. Why are we playing so deep? Because, granted, it didn't take any shots top of the box. Denzel Smith could have actually had a cap and a papers because he really didn't have that much to do, except honestly the time he had to take the ball out of the net. But nothing really tested him otherwise. But yeah, we sitting back too deep and giving them too much room to think that they could press us. Josiah Trimmingham, I think, did well. Alvin Jones played well because he stayed back. And he knew that Isaiah Garcia was on that side. Isaiah Garcia was the one making the runs. And I guess between the both of them, they could kind of decide who's staying and who going. But they did okay. I knew that they would have tried to play the ball down that side because Alvin Jones has a tendency to want to run forward. But we held it today. Daniel Hospitalis. As I mentioned before, we had 2 players who didn't impress in the Jamaica game that got called back. One was Isaiah Lee and one was Daniel Hospitalis. I mentioned that they were due to give us something. Isaiah Lee gave us the goal and gave us some press on top. Daniel Hospitalis, all I would say is that this is your 3rd game and you still didn't impress. Typically, I know for Montego Bay and the 2 games you played for us, you would play on the wing and you would run up and down, so you would give us that energy. Somehow in this game, you were our left back, and between you and Spicer was doing his work because he came with the assist. But at some points, when Spicer was outnumbered because they put 2 players on him and took the ball and running down, you didn't look like a left back at all. And there were times that balls were coming down your side and you looked out of place. Again, guys, I'm really hoping that because of the fighter that he is, that we put him in this game because we knew it would have been tough. But we have other players. We have Shannon Gomez, Andre Raymond, who could really cover those spots. So I think that is something we need to look at. Daniel Hospitalis is a bit sketch and a bit sus, if we're being honest. We brought in some players and they added. So honestly, those are only two things I think we need to work on. We still need to get the correct lineup for the defense, and we also need to stop playing so deep. Otherwise, we had some young players that came on, again giving the guys exposure. I love to see a Johnny Fortune on the field because I think that he's a free-flowing footballer, and when he's on and he has the ball, I think we are a bit more creative. Stefan Yates is really developing into a holding midfielder role and able to distribute. In this game, he had to play a little more forward because, well, we lacking for some reason in the striking department in this lineup. Dante came on, he had one or two good plays. Brent Sam came on, he held up the ball as he's supposed to do. Could have done a little bit more, but it is what it is, and we took away the victory. So I think we did well. Again, we were confident, silently confident. I was confident. I knew that we were going to get the victory. Should have been at least 3. Daniel Phillip hit the post. Kaim Thomas hit the post. So we look good, and I can't wait, honestly, to see the game in Trinidad. Please go and fill out the stands. Make sure that we have a solid crowd because I think we'll have a really good game. And now, as we have the advantage, I think Cuba would have to open up a bit more, and we would have players running behind them. So I think we could come out with a pretty decent victory there also. So this looks good for us getting into the Gold Cup. And this is, as they mentioned, we need to get more major tournaments and experience. Moving forward, I think this team, as I say, is good enough to get us into the Gold Cup, sorry. But I think we definitely need to do a little bit better with the combinations, because some of the combinations really had us thinking like, what's going on? Daniel Hospitalis, this is 3 in major games, 3 strikes and you're out. So let's see how that goes. But all in all, we did well. We won the game 2-1, and I'm extremely proud of my team and looking forward to see how we play Tuesday, 7 p.m. at Oboland Stadium. Make sure and be there, get your tickets, fill out the stands, support your team. Again, just like, subscribe, share, and let me know your thoughts on what you thought about the game, what we did well, and what we could have done differently. Really looking forward to hearing from you.